it was crazy. That was my first time being in an island and watching the trees just a swaying. And I was just kind of like, Lord, if you don't get me off this island. Welcome to Storytime with Sirece.
Preview.
And now, let's all welcome your host, Sirece Thomas. Hey guys, hello. Welcome back. Come on in. Get comfortable, take a seat, or whether you're driving or moving or running or jogging, I'm super excited to be back with you on another Saturday story time with Sirece, okay? The last time I was before you, I was a year younger. Look at God. Time is just a flying. You see that? Now I'm a year older, proud, and happy and grateful and thankful for seeing another year. Thank you guys so much. It is always, I don't know, every year I just get more like a little taken aback by the amount of love that is, poured out for my birthday, and just reconnecting with people that I haven't spoken to in a long time. I love it, love it, love it. So thank you guys so much. It was an incredible birthday celebration. If you are following me on my socials, many of you have seen that it was definitely a different one. We went out to the Bahamas, and towards the end of my trip, literally the day that we were supposed to leave, we got hit with a tropical storm. And it was crazy. That was my first time being in an island and watching the trees just a swaying. And I was just kind of like, Lord, if you don't get me off this island, listen. And I know, we were making light of it, but, we were definitely praying and definitely had prayer warriors, because we don't take those things lightly. And, it doesn't always end up the best when it comes to storms that you can't predict. But thankfully, it died down. We saw the worst of it, and it died down. And, it's just a couple of little leaks in the hotel here and there. A couple of fallen, I can't even say branches. What are those, things off the palm trees were all over the place. But we were safe, and we are grateful for that. However, all right, if you were watching, I love the way God speaks to me, because it's just so creative. Probably because of the way my mind is set up. He got to speak to me like that, right? And everything that happened way before the storm was just a word in season. I mean, the moment we got up at 4:00 in the morning, ready to get on our flight, we're so excited, boom, flight delay 2 hours. Now, why was that a problem? Because we already had a 2-hour layover. Did you hear that? 2-hour layover. How are we going to make our next flight with a 2-hour delay? Make it make sense. So our morning and the beginning of the trip already started off a little panicky, because I love to be, ahead of it. And when it comes to traveling, let's be clear. When it comes to traveling, I love to be ahead of the game. Daniel gets so mad. I'm the type, take me to the airport 3.5 hours early, because you know what I'm saying? You just don't know what's going to happen. I'm not a fan of getting to the airport and having to go through TSA and all of this. But Daniel, he's got all the little, TSA pre-check and clear and all that. So he's like, we could just get there and go through. Get me to the airport 3.5 hours. Signed, Auntie. Okay? Because I don't play that, right? I get it. No, I don't like to rush. I don't like to panic. So anyways, all that being said is, we were delayed. There were so many things that happened when we finally landed. We had to take a flight from Cincinnati to Atlanta. And when we got to Atlanta, we pretty much landed, first of all, 15 minutes late and at a different terminal, which was further away from the terminal that we needed to get to. Like, what? So we pretty much, my husband and I made up in our minds that this trip wasn't going to happen, that we were not going to get to the Bahamas that day. We realized that we were going to probably spend the day in Atlanta, and that's not a bad place to get stuck. Okay, so we started thinking, we started looking at hotels, we started literally building an itinerary, because this is a birthday trip. So what I'm not going to do is just, be discouraged. Now, inside, was I kind of feeling a little Yeah, because I kind of shared as well that before my birthday, I was just feeling a little in general. Just, going through. We've all got things that we're wrestling, you know, especially in the spiritual realm, and the that can show up mentally and emotionally. And so I wasn't just really feeling myself. So I wasn't really geared up for this trip like I normally am. But thank you for a praying husband and a husband who covers me and pushed me and encouraged me to take this trip. But of course, the day we're going to take the trip, everything is just already getting a little. So I said, you know what? I'm out here. Look, hey, I wasn't even going to do the trip. So it's delayed. That's probably my fault for not even being as excited as I should have been. But all that to say, when we landed, I don't know, Daniel just had this determination to keep going to the terminal. And I said, you still want to go to the terminal? I said, babe, we literally landed at the time that the plane is supposed to take off. I said, it's a wrap. He said, well, if somebody's going to close the doors, I want them to look me in my eyes while they're closing them doors. That's a whole different message. I said, oh, okay. I said, but what I'm not finna do is run a marathon. What I'm not finna do is run a marathon through this airport. All right. So I did walk fast. I did a nice little jog walk because I said, okay, he's determined. We get on the escalator, we go on the stairs, we see the tram because the airport in Atlanta is that big. First of all, it took us forever to just get to the tram. But as soon as we were on the escalator. As soon as we got off the escalator, the tram doors closed in our face. I said, if that ain't a sign. So we had to wait another about 3 minutes to get on the tram. Again, we were 3 terminals away. We were supposed to only be 1. So in my head, I was just kind of like, hey, we can still move with some momentum, but I don't know. Soon as we got off the tram, I kind of was in the giving up state. We took the escalator up. We start walking towards our gate. I realized that there's a mile between each number at the gate. I said, this is ridiculous. Like, as we're turning the corner, this lady with, you know, those little golf cart things in the airport, which I've never driven in an airport. She pulls up next to us and gets off her golf cart so bag and grabs her bag because I think she was ready to clock out or get lunch. But she parked and pulled right next to us. Even though I saw her, I had already given up hope. All right. You guys see where I'm going with this? Long story short, Daniel goes up to her. He says, can you please get us to this gate? We're 5 gates away. It's just so long. She's like, what gate is it? He said, 39. We jumped on. She said, let's go. I was like, oh. So now I was like, oh my gosh. Now we're zooming down the airport hall or whatever. And we get to our gate. Before we even get to our gate, as we're pulling up, because now I'm just like, here goes the rejection part. As we're pulling up, I literally hear over the loudspeaker, last call for party of 2, Thomas. I look at Daniel in disbelief and I'm like, that's us. And we look at them and we're like, that's us. We're here. And they start clapping. It didn't make any sense. This was 20, maybe not 20. It was about 15 minutes after this plane was supposed to take off. And it is so, like, just all of it. I just kept hearing God say, my timing is my timing. And even if you see a closed door, only I have the final say. I'll let you know when it's over. I'll let you know when the plane is taking off. I don't even need to get into my message because I know y'all are seeing where I'm going with this, right? I was so on fire when I got to, not only did we get on the plane, these ladies were waiting for us. I don't know, the ladies, they just said, we just knew y'all were coming. Because when we got off the plane, we asked the lady to say, can you let them know we're coming? And she said, we don't do that here. You just have to go. She said, go. Nobody alerted them. I was like, did anybody alert? She said, no, we just knew y'all were coming. I said, they had me. I was about to go off in that plane talking about, Lord, you. I was about to just start. So we get on the plane and I was still in disbelief. I kept looking at Daniel like, how are we on this plane? Long story short, long story longer, because clearly story time with Sirece don't know how to tell short stories. I literally, when we get to the resort, we are standing online to check in. We're still just so overjoyed and grateful that we made it here. Beautiful Bahamas, the water, the resort. We walk in, there's a line. We get on, we're like, all right, we just wait. It's not a crazy line, but it's a good amount of people online. This lady, out of nowhere, walks up to us. You can tell she's like a manager because she's got a different suit outfit on than the others. And she says, come with me. And I said, oh, Lord, what do? We can't get locked up out here in Bahamas, okay? She's like, come with me. She takes us into the VIP check-in area. I can guarantee you, we were not supposed to be in the VIP check-in area. We did not pay for that. And so she takes us in there and just naturally proceeds to check us in. She saw my birthday was coming up and she goes, "Oh, your birthday's coming up." I said, "Yeah, this is a pre-celebration. It was crazy. We almost missed the flight." She gets very quiet and she says, "Well, I've upgraded you for your birthday. Please enjoy." Girl, let me tell you something. And the rest is history. Need I say more? When we got to that room, it was the dream room for us, okay? It was a suite. It was a 1-bedroom suite. We didn't book that. We didn't book that. We didn't pay for it. It was a free upgrade. And then she just continued to dote on us for the rest of the trip, bringing free things to our room so that we can continue to celebrate, checking in on us, da-da-da-da-da. And then the storm hit. You know what I'm saying? And that was a little, because I wanted to be home with my babies. I like spending my birthday, my official birthday, with my whole family. I'm a big family person when it comes to like my mom and my girls, and I wanted to be home with everybody. So I was kind of bummed that the storm came. I mean, I woke up once again ready to get on the airport, and there was a little letter under our door that said, "Hey, you may want to check with your airline, but right now the island is hunkering down." I said, "The island is hunkering down?" And so I got through that, but I said, you know what? Learning to be content in every circumstance. Straight out of Philippians 4:11-13. He says, "I've learned to be content in every circumstance." So after I had experienced what I experienced getting to the Bahamas, now I can't get out of the Bahamas. I'm thinking everything. I'm like, I got to go to work, my kids, my mother's got to keep my kids for even longer. And I try to balance that out because we already lean on her so much. And I'm just like, the anxiety, right? The anxiety starts to build because I'm just like, this is a lot. But the Lord says, "I got you. Did you not just see what I did? Be content with every situation and trust me, I will get you out." And I learned to just enjoy. I said, "Lord, you gave me extra time with my hubby, period." And let me tell you something, with 2 kids, one being an 8-month-old and one being a 4-year-old, there ain't nothing like time. You don't get that time easily, right? So we just learned to lock in and enjoy each other and just do more on the resort, in the hotel, because we couldn't go out, and, just continue to ask God to cover us and the island. So I love that we were there. We could have been there. We could have been sent there to pray for the island. The way God moves, he moves in a ripple effect. And the message that I want to share with you today is learning to be content in every situation. There are 2 things that come to try to get us out of contentment. Number 1 is rejection. When you feel like those doors have closed in your face, or someone has let you down, or something has betrayed you, or there's been a shift and you feel like something just slammed in your face. It is so hard because all you can think about is what could have or should have been. I can't believe this happened. It should have been like this. But if you can just be content in whatever situation and trust God, just know that closed doors or an ending of a relationship or the ending of a season or a job means that God's got something bigger and better for you. And I know that sounds very cliche. We say that a lot, but I'm here to testify that he does, that there is something else that he has for you, and rejection is actually a part of the plan. It's not a shock to him. It's not a glitch. It's not a blip. It is literally a part of the plan to getting you where he's originally wanted to get you. So if you can learn to be content in that rejection, you will find yourself continuing on the path. So some of us, we get stuck in that roadblock of rejection where we don't realize, oh, the path is continuing. He's saying, keep going. It may hurt. There may be pain. You will miss it, but keep going. There is a path connected to the other end of that rejection. And number 2, a change of plans. When something changes, when we're just like going full force, we know that this is the next step, and then that's going to happen after that step. And then we're going to go A, B, C, D, but then you get to A, B, C, and all of a sudden D is not there. And someone's like, oh, you got to go to G. I don't have what? Go to G. It throws us off. And once again, we're like, we start looking at where we should be going and what we should be doing. And we begin to lose contentment. And I'm here to share with you today. Contentment promotes gratitude. When you learn to just say, you know what, Lord, I am going to be grateful. I am going to be okay with where I am. And not only am I going to be okay, I'm going to be grateful. So right now, I know there's a storm and I can't get home to my babies. And that wasn't the plan. But I am grateful that I am safe. And I am grateful that you are keeping me. So contentment promotes gratitude, and gratitude protects hope. Because when we lose contentment, we stop being grateful and we get hopeless. And we know that hope deferred gives us a broken heart. And when you keep that hope alive, hope keeps us expecting, and expectation sets the atmosphere for miracles and bigger blessings than what you originally planned. So I hope you copied that. That's what I learned, and that's the birthday word that I have for you. Contentment promotes gratitude, and gratitude protects hope, and hope keeps us expecting, and expectation sets the atmosphere for God to do better, for you to be able to continue the plan. Be content in whatever situation. He will give you the strength you need. He will provide for you. He will meet you where you think there is lack. He will blow your mind. To be honest, when rejection and a change of plans come, that's when God does his greatest work. That's when he shows up, and that's when he gets the glory, and that's when he shows himself strong in your circumstance. So don't be dismayed. For whoever needs to hear this, you got a birthday word from me. Okay? Contentment promotes gratitude. Gratitude protects that hope, and hope keeps you expecting. Don't lose that contentment, because it is literally the soil that allows you to experience God's bigger blessings. So, happy birthday! I hope you guys received a word in season. Continue, keep contentment alive, be grateful, keep that hope going and growing, and you will see that you will continue to have that expectation, and God responds to expect. All expectation is faith, believing that God is about to do something big, and he responds to faith. He doesn't respond to complaining. He doesn't respond to the doubting. He doesn't respond to the what if and what we should be and we could be. He responds to our faith. And we are able to prove our faith in the fact that we are expecting him, because we know that we know that we know that he's going to do it. It may look different how it happens, but he is going to do it. So be blessed. I hope you had a word in season. Hey, it's my birthday, so don't forget to share this and subscribe. All right. And I will be back with you next Saturday with another story time with Sirece. Be blessed, y'all. I'll see you soon. Bye.